looking at that fixture list, there are some genuinely big clubs in League One, but we've shown we can handle the big occasions with the way we handle the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean there was some big clubs, your Bradfords, your teams like that in the league we just came out of. But yeah, there is some big teams. But yeah, you can just, as I said, embrace it. It's 11v11. You know, you're not playing against the history of a club. Yes, they might have a lot of fans, but they're not the ones actually out there on the pitch that can affect the game. I know they'll cheer for their team and try and sway a referee or something, but hopefully the officials will be good this year. You can only hope. But yeah, that's where the lads want to be. You know, you can't just be kind of comfortable in League Two and be like, yeah, I'm happy. You know, you've got to have that ambition of going higher and then proving yourself at that higher level. I think it's quite easy sitting here talking about it, but we've got to go and do it. So yeah, new grounds for a lot of the players, for the fans, new clubs. Yeah, you've got some good, you know, big clubs in there, but I think the top 10 will be quite good, quite strong. But a bit like last year, you kind of just learning on the job. Like there was a lot of players last year that I was kind of playing against and saying to some of the lads that knew maybe more about them than I did, and maybe I hadn't played against them, and whereas in the past you kind of know what you're coming up against. There's a lot of similar players that you've played against before, so it'll be similar again next year. It's been probably a long time since, well, it is a long time since I've played in League One, but as I said earlier, I think this is where, at least where this club should be. Now we're in it. It's about, you know, taking it each game as it comes, and obviously there'll be a lot more. I wouldn't say a lot more, but there'll probably be more teams that'll have ways of playing, and how our game plan will be, how we combat that, how we set up our game plan to disrupt that. But I quite liked it last year. It wasn't an overload of information. I think at the same time it's about making sure, we spoke about that a lot last year, about making sure that we're right, and if we're right, I think we'll be okay.
And a big part of what we've just enjoyed was belief. How do we get that going into games where we know ourselves that you can sometimes, situations in life, beat yourself in your own head? How do we maintain that belief so that we're going into every game thinking we're here because we deserve to be and we can win this?
Yeah, I think the lads showed maybe the first part of the semi-final away from home. I thought, maybe we were on the back foot a little bit and we started slow. I was thinking maybe we're lacking that belief, but then it came back in spades, and if anything we probably should have won the away leg, and we showed in the second leg when it matters, and in the final that, you know, we've got that belief amongst these group of lads, which is great. Why the lads that have came back, I think that's great to have. They know us, we know them, they know all about how we work, and they have that belief they've achieved with us. I think, as I said, you can use that momentum a lot going into a new season, especially at the start. So we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We'll focus on the first game when we get there. We've got, as I said, we've got hard yards to do before that, but at the moment, yeah, looking forward to it, and I think we know in that changing room that the belief's there, and I think you can read a lot into different divisions, and I think if you've got that belief, that team spirit, togetherness, and willing to really leave it all out there for each other, I think that can take you a long way. I think that's the minimum that you expect as a fan. Like I would, if I was coming to a game, I would expect, if they're maybe not the best technically, on the ball, dribbling, maybe can't use both feet, but they leave it all out there on the pitch and they come off and they're absolutely shattered. I think you wouldn't be happy going home if the result hadn't gone your way. But I think, since I've been here with the manager, I think you're going to get that.
It seems to be, I don't know if it's an ethos or just a way that the things are, but you're sort of epitomising it right now, Hunt. And I think it might come from the manager as well. There's just a calmness about everything. Don't get screwed up, don't get het up, don't get too excited if it's going well. Just maintain this track that we're on. Is that part of it as well? Is that a genuine thing that's here?
Yeah, I think he is a calming influence. I think, don't get us wrong, there's times when he needs to be a bit more stern, but he's been there and done it, as a player, as a manager, and obviously this club fits well for him, and he's had success each time he's been here. So yeah, I think being that older head, I think especially with last year we were a younger group. I think that helps us. And yeah, I know he's looking for a few more old heads, a bit more experience, to help guide those, and I think that can only help us going into this new challenge.
I hate to dump this one on you, but it is on you. Here is a fact, actually, that you wear this captain's armband thing well. Would you be bothered this season if it wasn't you? I don't think you would be, but
No.
there's a sense of pride that you are as well.
It doesn't bother me. I said kind of before Wembley that, you know, if Feeney was fit, it would have been a positive for the group. But no, it doesn't bother me. I kind of just spout rubbish for 96 minutes anyway. Ask Mellish. Ask most of them, and at times you can talk rubbish, but I think just talking people through a game, I don't think you need an armband. I think you can lead in different ways. I think I've had managers in the past saying that they think I lead more by example than vocal, but I do not shut up really. So I think because that's a big part of the game, isn't it? Communication, and 99% of these can run, so if I order them about, then it makes your job easier. But again, it's going to be a harder test. You know, we're going to have to be better than we were last year, but I think everyone's okay with that. I think the club's in a really good place on and off the pitch. I think I know they've been speaking about the debt that's over the club, and they're now in talks, so I think everything's positive, and as I said, we need to carry that on in a better league, in a better standard. So but yeah, we're looking for, it's certainly something we're looking forward to.
A couple of risks for you. Hunt's coming to League Two, coming home is never easy for a footballer. This looks like you are one extremely happy player. Yeah,
it's a brilliant place to be. A few people have said to me you came at the right time. You know, it's a club on the up. And as I said, we're not sort of setting targets, but I think with the group that we've got, and obviously going to be adding to it with several players, that I think we'll be okay. At the time it wasn't really something that I was looking at doing, playing League Two, but the longer the summer went on, spent the time at home, we just moved house, which was, the plan was to be forever home, and had a young daughter who was one, and I spent, you know, time with my wife and her, and that kind of changed things really. Saying no to things down south, most things are down south from here, aren't they, from in England anyway, but and I thought, what am I kind of hanging around for? And I was keeping myself fit, doing kind of my own pre-season really, and then I just got back onto the manager who I knew was, and I spoke to Gav, I knew was keen from the end of the following season, because I'd kind of always played League One and above really, but thankfully we got out of that, and it wasn't, I'm talking about me there, but it wasn't about me, it was a collective as a football club, not just the team, the fans, the staff. You know, you can't do it without each other, so new challenge, but it's where we want to be, and testing ourselves against better clubs, better players. At times it'll be tough, but it was tough, you know, in the past, last season. You know, you never go one season that you just absolutely walk it. It's very rare. So we enjoyed this summer, and a lot of players have moved on. Players will come in, you know, that's football. But I know the ones that will come in, they'll easily fit into the changing room with the group that we've got. It's probably one of the best that I've been involved in terms of making you feel welcome. You know, just normal lads. There's no big egos. There's no attitudes. It's just a willingness to work hard, and I think that's the minimum we require as a group of lads. Well, at this football club anyway.
And finally, as you said, it starts Friday in terms of the friendlies, which is a notch up, and that step, everyone is a step towards that first game of the season.
Yeah, the first few, it's like the cobwebs off really. Obviously we haven't had as long off. I think the first couple will be 45 minutes, and I think for the manager it's more just about getting your numbers, and then gradually with the players that we bring in with a lot we already know already, but building those relationships, getting back into the habits, because it is a bit strange when you have that time off, and then before you know it, a goalkeeper, it's like just basic, like a goalkeeper will be kicking a goal kick, and you're just getting your timing and your relationships going, whereas normally you just click your fingers and you have to think about it a bit more. But yes, bit by bit, step by step, we'll build up that fitness, and it has been good. I've enjoyed being back. As I said earlier, we would have took that last season, so let's build on that and look forward now.
Fantastic, thank you.
Cheers.